today. Furthermore, since COPEDIA received an EBEC award this year, the project I am about to present asks a deceptively simple question. How do we design an intelligent authoring system that helps teachers plan lessons that are truly sensitive to who their learners are, where they come from, and how their regional and cultural realities shape the way they understand the world? So over the next 20 minutes, I will present the theoretical foundation of this project, its methodology, the two main design iteration that we did with the stakeholders, the key findings, and where this research is heading. Okay, so before describing COPEDIA, let me briefly situate it within the existing landscape of instructional design tools, with or without AI, because that landscape reveals some significant gaps. Most current authoring tools represent real advance, but they share common limitations. They don't support remote collaborative design. They don't account for diverse cultural contexts, and they offer no step-by-step intelligent guidance. More recent tools like Camingo or Magischool that we experiment in EBEC go further by leveraging generative AI. They can produce lesson plans, quiz, questions, differentiation strategy, and so on. But they fall into what UNESCO calls GPTs, that is powerful and practical tasks, yet lacking a current theoretical grounded instructional design process. So they offer a la carte services, not guiding design. And that is precisely the gap COPEDIA fills. No existing tools simultaneously integrate structured context representation, AI-assisted instructional design, and collaborative support for regionally and dispersed teachers. Rationale, so contextualizing education in the age of AI, where greater equity is a goal, is justified by the following points. So it's a theoretical background. Optimizing contextualized learning pathways require rigorous instructional design models, which are still poorly integrated into existing environments. Current tools struggle to manage the diversity of educational contexts and to effectively support teachers. And indeed, design learning pathways require taking into account the instructional, cultural, and disciplinary dimensions specific to each context, as well regional dimension. So our research project pursued four main objectives: represent the variability of educational contexts, embed contextualized instructional design into a digital tool, support teachers directly in their day-to-day planning, and explore how AI generation can serve as a lever for design. So COPEDIA is grounded in a pedagogical model we call CB, for context effect-based education. CB rests on two pillars. First of all, a context-based pedagogical strategy, and secondly, the integration of computer-supported collaborative learning technology into the design process. Here is a concrete example. In a CB scenario, learners from different regional contexts, let's say Quebec and French West Indies, explore a shared topic that may carry very different meanings depending on where you are from. Through video conferencing and collaborative tasks, they share their perspectives, encounter divergence, and reflect on how their region context shapes their understanding of the subject. This model was built over a decade of empirical research across multiple discipline and academic levels. COPEDIA's ambition is to make it scalable, accessible to any teacher through an intelligent authoring system while accounting for the integration challenges that inevitably come with that. So the central research question is twofold. How can intelligent, context-aware automated systems support instructional design while accounting for regional context? And how can AI be deployed in situated teaching approaches rather than the generalist manner that characterize most head-tech tools? The project pursued three objectives: develop a knowledge model for contextualized instructional design, build an intelligent system that supports computer-supported collaborative learning design, and produce and integrate an instructional design scenario method directly to the tool. COPEDIA is built on design-based research, as some of you may know this method, an iterative method that combines design, real-world implementation, and collaborative analysis between research and practice learning. DBR is a particularly good fit for this project for three reasons. It produces both scientific knowledge and usable artifacts. It embeds development within real educational context, and it positions practitioners as active participants rather than passive subjects. Concretely, within COPEDIA, DBR unfolds through co-design cycles, setting up a focus group using collaborative tools like Zoom and Miro, and analyzing the result qualitatively and feeding findings back into the next cycle. The project has run two big cycles that we call iteration as well. The first from 2022 to 2024, and the second from 2025 to 2026. Altogether, 190 participants took part from Canada, Spain, France, French West Indies, and Trinidad and Tobago. Our first iteration surfaced 5 key questions: the cognitive load the system places on users, their readiness to work with AI, the need for non-linear design practice, and the broader questions of trust and transparency. From there, we developed 5 proposals. I don't think I have time to go through them. Well, I can go quickly. First, an integrated workspace where users can share their context and technical constraints and learning activities and stay in continuous dialogue with the system. Second, a search augmented architecture to better organize the knowledge base and make information easier to retrieve. Third, concrete improvement to transparency. Fourth, a progressive scaffold design structure, guiding users step by step rather than confronting them with a monolithic tool. And fifth, an outcome that draws on the best of both worlds, human and technology, preserving the autonomy while integrating the best advancement to better contextualize tasks. Our second iteration drew 3 data sources: co-design approaches, think-aloud session built around concrete learning design, and online questionnaire completed by chatbot integration flows. From our qualitative analysis, 5 thematics emerged. The first one is the chatbot positioning. The second is the limitation user perceive in the system. The third one, the perceived added value. The fourth, non-linear navigation again. And fifth, the need for an institutional compatibility, meaning support for diverse export formats. This finding led us to 3 key conclusions. We need to refine the AI architecture to better organize the corpus, improve the interface for more flexible conversational navigation, and support multi-export options that meet institutional requirements. I'm going, okay. Build of both co-design iteration, we converged on 4 major design proposals. First of all, structural modularization. Second, multi-context representation. Third, progressive scaffolding. And fourth, AI-ready architecture. So, yeah, here is the COPEDIA environment. There's a QR code if you want to go to the system. It's open. It's designed not just to generate scenarios, but to guide teachers progressively through their instructional design process. The goal is not to auto-generate lesson plan, as we can see like in some other tools I talked about earlier, is to walk teachers through their design step by step while accounting for specificities of their context. On the end of this platform is the conversational AI assistant named Coco, which is here, whose behavior is defined by a precise system prompt that reflects our team's vision of AI in service of pedagogy. So the prompt from that we program the prompt to tell Coco how to behave. So you are Coco, a specialist in instructional design at our level, from primary to higher education. You are familiar with educational settings based on the provided documents. You have advanced knowledge of context effect-based teaching. You act as an assistant to education professionals, supporting their planning task while considering potential context effects. So concretely, the platform offers three things: the structured form organized into a structured form organized into modular session. So we can see the menu at the top. An integrated conversational panel where Coco is available at any time, and a scenario that can be downloaded, shared, edited, and uploaded again in the system. Okay, let me walk through Coco's architecture. I'm going to go very fast. Coco is built on RAG architecture. So some of you know what is RAG. I think everybody with augmented generation architecture. Before generating any response, it consults a document database drawn from size, space, and Zotero. This means Coco's suggestions are grounded in real traceable document, non-statistical memory alone. So the results significantly fewer hallucinations, as you may know, and much stronger pedagogical relevance. So the architecture also includes 10 pre-programmed prompts designed and refined iteratively with teachers during the co-design session. Okay, so this is the most recent development COPEDIA step we have with COPEDIA, introducing the hybrid RAG ontology. So we added an ontology to the system. This way, what makes it particularly innovative is the addition of the ontological layer, which is a taxonomy structure that defines which elements should be prioritized when generating instructional design content. So the result is having contexts that are both contextualized, faithful, and pedagogically relevant. Yeah, something standard AI tools currently could not achieve. So here is quickly, so this is the architecture, baseline architecture for the RAG, and the RAG ontology here. And this is the ontology. So we have 14 entities type, 12 relationship types, and 158 descriptors derived from the analysis of 110 scientific articles. So in COPEDIA, generative AI is convinced as a cognitive support for instructional design, not a replacement for teachers. Not a replacement for teachers' pedagogical judgment, but a tool that make it stronger it. Coco embodies three complementary roles. The first is supporting the reflective process of the teacher. Secondly, intelligent contextualization. And the third, operationalization of the complexity. So, to conclude, COPEDIA is built on theoretical concept of didactic contextualization, the active consideration of context within teaching practices encompassing authentic communication situation, pedagogical context, and social realities. The central to this is the notion of context effect, moment in digital mediated teaching where a gap between representation held by different participants is revealed. Crucially, these contradictions are not treated as an obstacle. They are deliberately leveraged to promote a deeper learning through socio-cognitive conflicts. This representation of epistemological shifts, this is a representation of epistemological shifts that is cultural and regional heterogeneity becomes a pedagogical resource rather than a challenge to manage. So COPEDIA is the tool we built to make this vision operational. As I said, an intelligent tutoring system that supports instructional design sensitive to the diversity of educational contexts. Okay, so I think I can stop. I can pass this one. Yeah. So let's close with a broader reflection. We are living through a moment of extraordinary technological acceleration, where generative AI is being deployed in education far faster than our theoretical understanding of its effects. COPEDIA represents something I believe is essential in this case. A project that begins not with technology, but with rigorous theoretical background of what it means to teach and learn while accounting for everyone's context. That means developing the technology iteratively in true collaboration with practitioners, and that keeps human agency and pedagogical judgment at the center. By grounding AI support in a accurate, transparent knowledge base, by structuring the design environment around the CB model, and by refilling the tool through co-design cycle with real teacher, we hope COPEDIA offers not just a useful tool, but a model for our AI and education research can grow together responsibly. Thank you.